Okay, we're going to go over step by step exactly what you're going to do when you go in the store looking for penny items. So first, you're going to already have downloaded your app. You're going to open your app. It's going to look like this. And you're going to have done your homework, know what you're looking for. In this case, we're looking for the cream serum blush. We're going to go try to find it here. Let's see. There we go. There she blows. All right. Now we're going to scan it in our app. We're going to go to the barcode on the top of the app so that it comes up like this. Scan the back of the product. And it comes up product not found. Now that doesn't guarantee you it's a penny, but it means you should check it. So here we go. We're going to scan it at the in-store scanner. And yes, ma'am, it is a penny. Okay, if this seems a little bit too simple to be true, it kind of is. So I've not only already found some of this product at other stores, but I did my penny prep at this store. So I've already know exactly what the product looks like, know exactly where I'm going to find it at, and am able to go exactly where it's at, find it, and scan it. I also have the luxury of having multiple scanners in all of the stores I penny shop. But it is possible to penny shop in Dollar Trees without in-store scanners. It just takes a little bit more homework and is a little bit harder, but it's completely possible. So some of the most common questions I get would be, how do we find the pennies? How do we know what is a penny? So there's a couple different ways that you're going to know what you're looking for. First, and of course, you're going to have the infamous penny list. And this is a list that you can typically find on Facebook or in videos like these. I try to do a penny prep video every week after the penny list is released. Go to the store, actually find the product so that you have a good visual, because the penny list itself is a memo that's sent to the store, and we'll get a little bit more into that in a moment. But the memo that's sent to the store is given a vague description as well as the SKU number. And sometimes you can type that SKU number into the app and it will pull up the product so you'll know exactly what you're looking for. Though sometimes the picture in the app and the product itself do not look exactly alike. And sometimes nothing at all will come up when you type in the SKU number on the app. And that's why I like to go to the store, physically find the products, and know exactly what I'll be looking for. So the penny list drops on Monday, or the pennies become active on Monday. But typically, people get access to the penny list sometime over the weekend. So normally by Sunday, you can look up and find videos and or posts with the penny list. So if you wanted to go penny shopping with just the penny list, you would very simply look it up over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, take screenshots of each item, and then go to the store, look for those items, scan those items, and see whether or not you found any pennies. As you can see in most of these videos, I very seldomly bother with the app because I do have in-store scanners, and sometimes it's quicker to just scan the product, especially if it's something I already know I'm looking for at the in-store scanner. It's just quicker process. And instead of scanning it with the phone and then going and verifying it with the in-store scanner, it speeds up the process a little bit. Now, in a few minutes, we'll discuss some other ways you can spot penny items besides just the penny list. But right now, we're going to discuss what exactly the penny list is, and penny policy for Dollar General. So The penny list is not put out for penny shoppers. The penny list is actually sent to the store to notify the store that these items are going to become a penny. Now, Dollar Tree's penny policy states that if a penny item is on the sales floor and a customer finds it, then they are to sell them the penny item. But after they sell them the penny item, they are to go remove anything that is remaining on the shelf and dispose of it. This is why penny shoppers clear the shelf. Might as well take it, donate it, give it to somebody, what have you, then let it go to waste. This is also why you cannot ask about penny items or expect the store to help you find penny items. Now, another very common question is why? Why would any store do this? Why would they lose money? And this is a very complicated question. And I don't have all the answers. I do have an opinion of my own on why the stores would do this. But in short, these items are all discontinued items, which means the store is getting rid of them. They've already made it through that particular store's clearance process. On a quick side note, I think that's why it's easier to find items at Dollar Tree versus Dollar General. So Dollar Tree's clearance process is typically only one or two markdowns, and a lot of times they are not put in a clearance location. So they're just on the shelf, and in order to know that it's on sale, you have to actually scan it. So this would be unmarked clearance items. Whereas with Dollar General, they start out at like, I don't know, 20% off, and they work their way all the way down to 90% off. And then they have their clearance events. So these products have to make it a long time before you actually get a chance to find it for a penny. But anyway, point is, these products are no longer going to be carried by the store and did not sell at a discounted price. So if it were, for example, Easter candy, you don't want to walk into a store in December and still see Easter candy out, right? So they have to make sure that product is gone one way or the other. It doesn't encourage you to want to buy products to see old products laying around the store, and they need the space. So, everybody knows the second one holiday's over, they're busy stacking up the next holiday. They've already got Halloween displays built, and it's presently July. So at this point, these products are destined to be a loss, a tax write-off. And in my opinion, it's kind of an ingenious marketing plan to allow some of these items to be sold at a penny. Most of us try to penny shop for a very long time before we actually find a penny. Most people spend a long time in the stores and end up just shopping, buying stuff. So why not have like a loss leader of products that they were going to dispose of anyway, that were already a loss to the company, that is getting them free advertisement, good press, has loads of people going to the store looking for these items, most of which don't find them and end up buying other items. Companies actually do this a lot, where they order products that they sell at a loss just to get customers in the store, because they're most likely not going to buy just that one product. So it's worth the loss for them to get you in the store. And I think that's part of why they allow this to go on. Okay, you didn't come here to hear my opinions. You want to know how to find the pennies. So we already went over the penny list. Next, you have seasonal items. So when they bring out their new items, Dollar Tree seems to stock pennies a lot. And by that I mean when they set up their new seasonal displays, such as back to school, 4th of July, graduation, Halloween, Easter, whatever the season or occasion is, when they put those items out, a lot of times there is penny items being stocked with it. So those are really awesome sections to check right after they set them up. Now, how are you going to have any clue what the items in this section are pennies? Of course, you can't just scan the entire back to school section or the entire 4th of July section. You got to have some clue what you're looking for. So we're going to start with package changes. So when you're looking at a section, we'll say Halloween section. Some of the packages may have a jack-o'-lantern on them, and some of them may have a spider and some webs on them. So if you flip this product over and look at the back of it, you'll find a date. And I'll insert here a couple examples of how to read the date. But once you figure out which couple of different packages, then you want to find the oldest date or the older date. So, if the spider packaging is 2026 and the jack-o'-lantern is 23, then you would want to go ahead and start checking all the packages that have the jack-o'-lantern on them. Okay, and here's a couple example of dates. Here is 23 of November, and this one is 21 of December. And here is some package changes. This was 4th of July. The one on the right is the old package, and the one on the left is the new package. So most of the things I found with that older packaging were a penny for the 4th of July section. Now, you had some things like these platters that didn't have packaging, and I simply looked at the bottom of it to see what the date was on it, to see whether it was worth scanning or not. And since they were, I think, the 23s, I went ahead and scanned them, and for sure they were a penny. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do looking for penny items is watch for restocks. Like I said, Dollar Tree tends to put pennies out a lot, freshly put them on the shelf. So when you're preparing to go for your penny shop, instead of just looking up the newest list, you want to go a couple weeks back, say do 3 weeks worth of videos and take screenshots of each item. And then when you go to the store, just go through your list and check each section. You'll be surprised how often you'll find things that you know for sure were not there last week because you checked them last week, but then they will be restocked on the shelf. And sometimes they just come out of the back room. Sometimes they're actually reshipped to the store. But either way, keep track of the items you've already found because you'll be really surprised to find how often these items are restocked. Now, one of the last things I want to go over is what does it mean when the scanner itself comes up as error? And I will put another video up here that shows that happening on the screen, but this happens sometimes when the product has been completely removed from the system. So this stuff I'm checking was Halloween that was just put out, and they are so old that they pennied a while ago, and now they're coming up as an error. Unfortunately, I can't find anywhere in any of the policies on how these products are supposed to be handled. So it seems to be up to each store how they want to handle these items. I've seen a lot of posts where people say that if it scans up that way at the register, then their stores will give it to them for a penny. But at this particular location that I was at, they said that they were not allowed to sell the items if they scanned up that way. So it seems to be per store. I had some other stuff come up a while back that way, and the store gave it, was willing to give it to me at a discounted price, but of course I was penny shopping, so I didn't want it for half price or whatever. Which leads me to the last point. Since the policy states that if the store is aware of penny items being on the floor that they have to go remove them and dispose of them. So an employee would have to risk their job in order to buy penny items. Only reason I bring this up is because I've seen a lot of posts and dealt with personally people feeling that the employees are getting all the penny items and that's why they can't find any items. When in reality, it's much more likely that the items all sold through when they were discounted or the manager has done their job and removed them from the store. Some managers are very meticulous and make sure to remove them before they turn to a penny. So just try to remember that A, you'll be a lot more successful and get a lot farther if you're nice and don't leave a mess and are polite. And B, these employees are just doing their job and just trying to make sure they don't do anything wrong as far as their job requirements. And that comes to the last thing. Every once in a while, you will end up in a store where the cashier or even sometimes the managers will say they do not sell pennies. I've only had this happen twice. The one time the cashier was very apparently new and young, and I very simply said, hey, could we asked the manager about it. I have bought pennies in here before, and the manager was like, oh, yeah, no problem. It was no big deal. Everybody was polite. Everything went across fine. Um, a lot of penny shoppers like to keep a copy of the penny policy in their phone so that if they run across this, they can show the memo that says if a customer finds a penny on the sales floor, then they are to sell it to them. You can, of course, also call corporate. Um, I would just say keep in mind when you're doing that it is someone's job that you are discussing. So try to keep it as polite and just, hey, I'm clarifying what the policy is. Are they or are they not supposed to sell me the pennies? The only other time I was refused penny sales was I was out of town for one, so it wasn't a store I normally went to. And for two, the only things I had found were those stupid glittery Easter trees. And honestly, by the time I got them to the register, everything was covered in glitter. And I really didn't want the trees by that point anyway. So I just let it go and left the store. Okay, hopefully some of this information was useful. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the penny prep videos on Sunday. And until next time, happy hunting.